Welcome to the Back Porch Talk podcast. I'm your coach Jason.
This is your co Danny.
What's up, fans? Y'all know what to do. Go ahead and like, go ahead and subscribe. Tell 1, 10, 100, 500 fans that the Back Porch Talk podcast is here. To all those reminiscing about elementary school, kudos to you all. As my boy Danny and I just been reminiscing before we jumped on. But a little MLB, a little NFL news and a little NBA news. But first, Danny, right into Major League Baseball, where the Milwaukee Brewers took this series against the LA Dodgers 3-1 in the 4-game set. And the Miz did his thing big time, gave up a run. Man, you talk about the effort, you talk about the pitches that he made to strike out, even though he got himself in trouble. This wasn't fastballs. He had a good collection of pitches to really strike out a whole lot of sides. The Brewers' rotation was pretty good in this 4-game set. It's not to say that things are over. We got a whole long way to go. The Brewers finally get a rest day today.
Mm-hmm.
My understanding was like 17 days, 17 games straight. That's a lot, man. And I think they got a little tired against the Padres because they got swept in the Padres series right before the Dodgers series. And I'm wondering if they were looking ahead or if they were just tired or a combination of the two. The Brewers go ahead and win out. What say you, Danny, about this Milwaukee Brewers series against the Dodgers?
Yeah, Jason, you can't argue with 3 out of 4, man, from the Dodgers on the road at that. Yesterday, big win, 6-2 against Skubal, where Bowers had 4 hits. Logan Henderson had a great game. And like you mentioned, man, them coming home, they get a break, and then they get the Mariners. But then they have another big series against Atlanta coming up. So that's where you got to do what you got to do against the Mariners. They do get the Braves at home. But this was an impressive series all around, man. They had some timely hitting on in the Saturday game. Contreras with the home run. And then yesterday, like I said, with Bowers having the 4 hits and Logan Henderson doing what he did against Skubal. So this gives them a little cushion as far as the NL overall standings, especially going into that series against the Braves. But they can't have a slip up against the Mariners. You know, you just want to have everything in order against the Braves and not have a slip up. Like you said, like Padres series, I was a little nervous, man, going into this Dodgers series. I ain't going to front.
Yeah.
Because the way they played against the Padres, I'm like, ooh, this is not good. But they came to play, man, and you can't argue it. And now we'll see what happens. And the Mariners actually have something to play for because they're only 4 games out in the AL West. We'll see what the Brewers can do and build upon this series against the Dodgers. But it was a great 3 out of 4. And
I'll say this to kind of give you an update on the Brewers schedule. Like you said, Seattle, then right behind there, the Braves, both 3-game sets. And then they're at New York against the Mets, 3-game set. Against the Texas Rangers at home, and then at the Chicago Cubs, a 4-game set to round out the end of August into September. So, and then they have Cincinnati, and then they play Chicago again, and then they play Cincinnati again. This is an opportunity I think the Brewers can really take. And then they have Pittsburgh. The Brewers can really do some things here, especially against the division. They can do some things here to where they can get that number 1 seed. But more importantly, I think it's about the matchups, Danny. If they're favorable matchups, to your point. Not only pitching matchups, but team matchups, to where if we can have like the Cubs and Dodgers go at it before getting to us, right?
Yep.
I think would really help us in the playoffs. I will say the Brewers did show a little power in that Dodgers series. Hope to see it more frequently. Don't know what Yelich what they're going to do with Yelich. Man, you talk about a struggle season. I think they've tried putting him in different aspects of the lineup,
Yep.
just not necessarily working out. So I don't know what they do with his contract, Danny.
Well, they stuck with that contract. Well, at least Jason, like you mentioned, now they're at least moving him down in the order
Mm-hmm.
until he can figure things out instead of having him lead off. Because he wasn't doing anything. He wasn't producing. So move him down, let him try to figure things out, and hopefully he gets it together because they do have a rough September. It's not like it's a cakewalk because they with the Orioles, Phillies, and Cardinals. And the Cardinals want to do some payback.
Yeah. Yep.
To help
Yep.
knock them out of the playoffs if possible.
And that's towards that's September.
Yeah, so it's not an easy road at all because a lot of these teams they're playing have some playoff implications, either wild card or division or positioning.
And then just real quickly to look at the Braves and look at their schedules. I'm just want to keep tabs on who's immediately behind us, right?
Mm-hmm.
Braves are immediately behind us, and they have upcoming Minnesota. They have one game which seems to be a makeup game against the Chicago White Sox. Then they have us. Then they have the Dodgers, Colorado, one game against San Francisco, probably a makeup game. And then they got two games against Washington, probably a makeup game. Then they got Philly, Tampa Bay, Philly again, the Cubs, Houston, Cincinnati, and Miami. So they got a tough schedule too. We'll see what happens. And then right into NFL preseason where a whole lot of games have happened. The Green Bay Packers get mollywopped 28-9. And yeah, it's preseason, but man, you just don't want to look like what the Packers look like, man. I mean, dang. You would just hope that there will be some cohesiveness on both sides of the ball, all sides of the ball, even special teams. But it just seemed like it was the first preseason game. Now comes preseason game number 2. The hope is that things will start to be like a well-oiled machine because I'm going to tell you, Danny, this NFC North division is up for grabs. Again, I'm not worried about Minnesota as much.
Mm-hmm.
But with the Bears and with the Lions, I am concerned. So we'll see. But they lose 28-9 against the Pittsburgh Steelers, who debuted Mike McCarthy as the head coach. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers was hoping to be a part, this game would be at Lambeau, but that wasn't the case. He didn't play. Interesting game, but yeah, Packers got a lot of work to do. What say you, Danny, about this game and even on your Atlanta Falcons?
Green Bay Packers, Drew Aller had a great game, rookie out of Penn State. So that may be something from the Pittsburgh standpoint was great to see, with Aaron Rodgers probably being one and done. So they actually have someone that may be capable of taking over. I know you don't want to be overreacting to a preseason game because it's obviously not against the first team, but he actually looked pretty good. And then on the Packers side, not a good game for them. And I can't say anything because on the Atlanta Falcons side, they got blown out the building. They decided not to show up and lost 27-7 to the Broncos. Not a good showing by Tua. 3 of 5, 22 yards, had a fumble. They're getting blown out from the get-go. This is big, man, because with Penix still being out, they're leaning on Tua. So I'm hoping it was just first game jitters. It is a new offense with Kevin Stefanski, but he just didn't look comfortable. So I'm hoping that some changes are made this week, some adjustments as they head in to play the Colts. And hopefully it'll be a better performance. And then I'm curious, too, I'm assuming he's going to play about the same amount, if not even more, just to see what they have there with him. But like I said, with Penix being out. So we'll see. And then news came out, too, that James Pierce Jr. will be suspended 8 games. He gets to play the preseason, and then he's out for the first 8 games. So you lose Jalen Walker, you lose James Pierce, your 2 first-round picks from last year on the defensive side of the ball, that's not good, man. Maybe I'm curious if they'll pick somebody up in free agency just to fill that void while he's out, but not a good look. And then as far as the preseason in general, Bears blew out the Browns. So that Shedeur Sanders, Deshaun Watson quarterback battle, neither of them showed well in that game.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. And there are some key injuries, including Jeremiah Love from the Arizona Cardinals, who has a high ankle sprain, which from my standpoint, I thought he played too much. They should have had him out there, get a feel of the game and take him out. But hindsight's 2020. So we'll see what happens in week 2. But I know Jeremiah Love will not be playing the rest of the preseason.
And let me just say about the Browns, it seems like out of all the teams, the Browns QB position battle seems to be really the only battle of note, really, that's really highlighted. The Browns are paying Deshaun Watson a whole lot of money. I don't foresee Deshaun Watson necessarily coming off the bench because they're paying him the big dollars. But I can see Shedeur Sanders eventually starting later in the season. But I think to start off, the politics of it in terms of the money, I see Deshaun Watson starting to start off anyway. I think with the addition of Von Miller to the Cowboys, I think the Rams would need an Aaron Donald to kind of stay a little ahead there. This is going to be real interesting with Von Miller being with the Cowboys. I cannot stand the Cowboys. But Von Miller does bring championship experience to the roster. And you think about the offense of the Cowboys, they may be ahead in a lot of these games. And so that may allow for the defense to really go at it. I am curious about Malik Willis, who was a former Green Bay Packers backup quarterback, now with the Miami Dolphins. Looks to have a pretty good game, a preseason game against the Commanders, even though the Dolphins lost. But I just want to see Malik Willis do well, man. He really represented the Packers well. Even as a backup, he went 4 for 5 for 43 yards. We don't know how the Dolphins are really going to be, man. They may just be just not good, but I'm hoping that Malik Willis has a successful season. And so, yeah, that's pretty much week 1 for preseason, Danny, and right into a little talk about the NBA, where sources have indicated that the NBA has found no exchanging of funds between Kawhi and the Clippers owner underneath the table. And so that's according to sources. We'll see. I think the NBA investigation is still ongoing. So we'll just wait to hear the formal report from them. But if this is so, I'm just wondering if there is still going to be any type of punishment by the NBA to the LA Clippers or to individuals of the LA Clippers just to make an example out of them. We'll see. What say you, Danny?
There's still some stuff going on here. The main thing right now, the NBA needs to get going. We talked about this last week about getting this trade, figuring out this trade, because everything's still on hold. So if this is the case, then they can move forward. And then if Toronto's taking on Kawhi and Brandon Ingram and crew are going to LA, that should be coming through soon if that's the case. But I think there's still more to this story. We'll see what comes out, but they got to hurry up because we're mid-August. And I know they want to get this thing done and get ready for preseason.
Thank you for joining us at Back Porch Talk Podcast. You can also join us on Twitter by tweeting us at @back_podcast. For more information, you can go to our website, which is backporchtalkpodcast.com. You can also email us at backporchtalkpodcast@gmail.com. Again, thank you for joining us, and remember that there's enough hate in the world, so go ahead and spread a little love.